Konnichiwa, Mini-san.
Hello, and welcome to Famicast 261, your Famicast for the latter part of January 2023. As always, I'm joined by Mr. Cat Drugs himself, Ty Sugar.
What's good? I'm
Hey, man,
here.
how's it going?
I got my Stars mug.
There it is.
It's filled with liquor.
What's it say on the bottom there?
You almost got me that time.
Yeah. Well, actually, today we have a very special guest, I believe, potentially making his live Famicast debut, and it's none other than Dr. Jonathan Metts. Dude.
Hello, I'm very special.
Yes, it's so special. What's up, man? Glad to have you on.
Live from Lebanon.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, I'm live from Tokyo right now.
Yeah.
Amazing. My first time in Japan. First time in Tokyo.
Exactly. Yeah. So, Jonny, how you been, man? Like, I mean, we're going to talk about this a little bit later in the show, but Ty and I, we've had a chance to actually meet up with Jonny and hang out and stuff. We have some cool stories for sure to share with you guys, and I'm pretty sure that Jonny has some pretty cool stories to share as well. But like, how's your time been so far in Japan, man?
It's been awesome. I think this is my third full day in Tokyo, and I'm going to Kyoto later this week, and then I'll have like one day in Osaka before I fly back to the States.
Okay.
So yeah, it's a whirlwind trip. I'm kind of tired already, but it's been great. It's pretty overwhelming. My friend Taylor, who I'm traveling with, when I landed, he said, "Welcome to being illiterate." And it's like just a strange sensation. You know, I've traveled in Europe and I've traveled in like Central America a little bit, and even like 20 years ago I traveled in Russia, but I spoke the language, I could read the alphabet and everything at that time, you know. And so this is maybe the first time I've been in another country where there's just so much that's incomprehensible that I just, you know, I cannot understand. And yeah, I feel like I need a lot of help, but I've had a lot of help. So that's been great. Yeah. It's been a wonderful trip so far.
Good. Yeah. I mean, you know, with me and Ty and, you know, JC, we've been here for so long. So, I mean, to a certain extent, we're somewhat literate, I guess, in some cases, but, you know, but
definitely. Yeah.
It is always kind of weird to think, maybe not even just weird, just from like our perspective, since we've been here for so long, we don't think about what it's like for somebody to be here for like the first time and stuff like that. So I think having that kind of perspective every once in a while, just for like myself personally, and maybe even just for our listeners too, I think that's awesome. So
yeah, no, it's been great. You know, yeah, I don't even know where to start. Like everything, like it's sensory overload from morning to night, you know. Just everything I do is new and different and strange and wonderful and confusing sometimes. But yeah, I think the best part so far, you know, apart from whatever activities and, you know, great meals I've had and things like that, has been hanging out with friends. Just, you know, knowing I've got friends here in Japan, people I've known a long time, both of you guys, and actually I'm coming back from dinner with JC, so he might be watching right now live, but we got to hang out for a couple hours and talked about everything you can imagine, and that was my first time meeting him in person after knowing him for like probably more than 15 years, I think. First time meeting you yesterday, Danny, after we've known each other for at least a decade. Finally get to meet in person, and then Ty, I spent a couple of days with Ty earlier. Ty and I have known each other for like 24 years, so we've met a number of times at E3 over the years, but it's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, before we hop into, we could obviously keep continuing this and stuff like that, all that, but I just wanted to kind of give a shout out to people in the chat. Balls is there, hanging out. Lemonade's here too. Also, Hiroko's in the chat. Hiroko, thank you for dropping by. We'll be talking about you and all of that here in a little bit. Yeah, today's show is going to be awesome. Obviously, we have Jonny here to talk about his adventures here in Japan. We got some games to talk about as well. Me and Jonny also went to a really awesome exclusive bar in Tokyo.
Secret.
It's a secret. We're going to tell you about it. Not like, well, there are some things we can't say, but we will tell you what we can say.
That's right. That's right.
But yeah, so this is going to be a great episode. There's a little bit of news we're going to get to too, but I think today we want to focus mainly on Jonny's experience here, then with some game stuff and all that as well. We might even get to a little bit of feedback from you guys as well. But let's just go ahead and, I guess, officially kick things off with new business. And Jonny, since you're basically the man of the hour, I mean,
oh gosh,
yeah. So I mean, let's just kind of continue on that thread, man. Like, obviously, you've been here, you've been meeting up with a bunch of people. I guess, can you just kind of like recap? I guess maybe some of the highlights so far.
Highlights.
Like chronological order, if possible.
Oh my gosh. So yeah, I saw Ty. So I got in Monday night Tokyo time, and Ty was at the hotel when I got there. So saw him right away after like an hour on the Narita Express train from the airport. And yeah, we went out and had dinner and got some drinks and chatted. And then the next day, Ty gave us kind of a little tour of Akihabara, which is a place, that's like a legend, somewhere I've always wanted to explore, Yep. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. And so that was really cool. We did UFO catchers, and I saw Ty win a Psyduck, which maybe he could show.
Oh yeah, I got it right here.
Uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you saw me get this in 2 tries. What was it like?
Yes. 200 yen. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice big Psyduck. And we played some arcade games. We watched Ty play Street Fighter 6 arcade version for at least 45 minutes and got hit about 3 times the entire run. I mean, he just laid waste on these Japanese guys who were just taking turns losing to Ty over and over and over again. And that really took me back to some old E3 days. Seeing Ty in the
Good
hotel
times.
rooms, just about any fighting game you could throw at him. So that was a lot of fun, and we played some retro arcade games. So I don't know that I realized that the old is it Hudson, or who made Dragon Spirit? I want to say it was like NEC Hudson made Dragon Spirit. It's like a top-down vertical shoot 'em up where you play as a dragon, and the best thing about it, well, it's very similar to Xevious, because you can shoot your shots upward at the enemies flying through the air toward you, but also you can drop bombs that just sort of scale. They get smaller to make it look like they're landing on the ground that's passing below you.
Yeah.
And so there are
It's
little
a Namco
turrets
game, by the way.
Oh, Namco. Well, that makes sense. They did Xevious. But yeah, it is kind of like a successor to that. And so Dragon Spirit came out on Famicom and NES, and I played that when I was a kid and really loved it because the dragons transform when you get power-ups, and it's great art style and everything. And so I didn't catch the name of it, but there's a sequel that's like arcade only, I guess, and I'd never seen that before. So I pumped several 100 yen coins into that, and saw a few stages of the Dragon Spirit sequel. So that was really cool. And then Gradius 4. I've never played Gradius 4. I've played a lot of Gradius 3 and a lot of Gradius 5, but Gradius 4, never seen it before. So that was super cool to get to play that in the arcade. And let's see.
Nice. By the way, we were at Hey in Akihabara, HEY. It's kind of a legendary arcade for like shoot 'em up Danmaku games.
Ah, there you go. That makes sense. They had a ton of them. Yeah. And and we went to Super Potato. So again, it's like a legendary store that I've always wanted to go to. It's full of retro games. It was kind of smaller than I expected. It's on 3 floors, but each floor is just sort of one room. They're not big at all.
Yeah.
Really packed tightly, very densely with games. It's like almost hard to find things in there, especially since I don't read Japanese. A lot of the games are turned spine out, so you can't see the artwork, which I might recognize, but you can only see the Japanese characters on the spine.
They're sorted by a Japanese syllabary.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So I wanted to look through. So a lot of my old systems are long gone, or they're not hooked up anymore. So I wasn't really shopping for games more, as much as just kind of looking and seeing everything that they had. But I thought, maybe I could get a DS game, because I still have a DS Lite, works fine, super easy, region free and everything. And I did import a lot of DS games back, when the system was newer. But I thought, I'm sure there's something here. And then I thought, Game Center CX2, because I love the first one. They localized it as Retro Game Challenge, and the sequel never came out in English, and so I never got to play it. And so I did it. Ty helped me find it, because I would have never found it on my own, because of course it was spine out. I would have spent hours just flipping through every single cartridge until I finally found it. But I picked up a copy of that. I haven't played it yet because my DS is back home in the States, but I'm looking forward to poking around in that. I will need a fan walkthrough guide for certain parts of it. There's like a visual novel thing in it that I'm gonna have. There's no way I'll ever finish it on my own. But I think most of the fake retro games in that are, more like action platformers and racing games and things like that. So, and I think there's a sequel to Guadia Quest, which is the Dragon Quest ripoff that's in the first one. So I'm really excited to jump into that, because I love that. And the collection is coming to Switch soon, but that's probably also going to stay in Japan. So I won't have any regrets about my purchase there. It's just a game I've been coveting for more than a decade, so it's really cool that I got to pick that up. And it was like $30 maybe. I mean, as an American being here, the exchange rate's really favorable. So I was like, I felt pretty good about that.
Yeah. I will say, I mean, Super Potato can be, especially these days, because of a lot of foreigners coming to Tokyo. It is a little bit. They kind of did mark stuff up here recently, but I mean, still, like there are some good deals on some things that a lot of people here just don't consider.
Right.
Yeah,
Games
I think this
wouldn't be special to a Japanese person.
Or even just like I think like the retro game market here is just not as ridiculous as it is in the US, where hey, here's a copy. Well, Pokemon's like its own thing, which it makes no sense to me. Like millions of copies sold. Why is this like $150 for a cart with no label, or something like that? But
supply and demand, I guess.
Yeah. So Jonny, like, I mean, you're mentioning, playing all the games in the arcades and stuff like that. Like, I know, us, all three of us as Americans, like if we were to do that, like, back in the day, it's like a couple of quarters or something like that. But I mean, here, 100 yen, it's like, man, that's like, essentially like throwing away $1 like every play. I mean, that stuff like really adds up. If you're just like
true.
Really going
you
for
say
it,
$1 for me right now, it's more like probably 65 cents or something. It's not so bad. But yeah, were they always 100 yen? I guess probably.
I think
the
so.
Yeah. Yeah, there were times when that would have been pretty pricey.
Yeah.
So I didn't really bat an eye on it now. I'm an adult. I have a job.
Yeah, sure.
As a kid, that would have been. I would have had to think long and hard about which games I played. That's for sure.
Exactly.
So I actually went back to Akihabara again the next day with you, Danny. After we met up, and kind of did a few different things. So we played some rhythm games. We played what was that game called? Like dance rhythm beat or something like that. But it's sort of like it came out last year. It's like a modern successor to DDR.
Dance Rush, maybe is what it was called. Something
we'll find out. But yeah, it's so you, instead of there being a dance pad with arrow buttons, it's just one big sort of canvas on the ground that's covered in LEDs, and when you step on it, the ground lights up different colors. When you step on it, you can sort of slide your feet around and make colorful patterns and things. And when you play the game, the bars that come down the screen that tell you where to step. It's kind of like it knows which is your left foot and your right foot, and it got confused sometimes about that. I think it's using cameras probably to try to figure that out, but generally it kept up with it. And so the bars will come down and I'll say, put your left foot over here and put your right foot over here, and then maybe slide them around as the music comes down. So you're kind of like, I'd love to see high level play of it and see what that looks like, but it was really fun. Like reminded me a lot of DDR. It kind of feels like DDR when you play it. It's maybe a little simpler, but it's also more analog because there are moves you can do on this kind of floor pad controller that wouldn't work in DDR. Yeah, I thought that was a pretty neat sort of evolution on an old formula. And I actually, Danny and I played DDR a little bit too, and
Oh, gosh.
sort of felt old when our legs started hurting after
No.
Did you
like 2
remember to
songs.
stretch first?
No, dude,
No,
because
I really should have.
yeah, me and Johnny, we did just do some regular DDR first, and then I was done. Like I haven't done DDR. I think the last time I did it was like 2018 at that same place, Johnny, with another buddy of mine.
Oh yeah.
And I can just go once, but the name of the other game that you were talking about, it looks like it's Dance Rush. Stardom.
Dance Rush,
right?
Stardom. There you go. Yeah.
And I found the website, and if you're watching the video version right now, live or after the fact, you can see like this. It's pretty crazy. It's a really colorful machine. The floor lights up. It's awesome. Like it's a really super visually appealing machine. It's really cool.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. That's a game. I'm glad I got to try that. Like the likelihood of me ever seeing one of those machines in the States seems very low. And it was fun. It had to play, so I was able to. I was able to enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let's see. I watched Danny play Denshide Go.
Oh yeah, I did that.
Nice.
Which I don't think I'll ever be a fan of Denshide Go, but it makes more sense to me now that I've ridden the train system in Tokyo. So like it's the Yamanote line, the above ground train that's like forms a loop around sort of the central part of the city. So I can see the appeal that if you actually know these train stations and you know the route and you recognize the scenery as you pass by, that, if you lived in the city and you just sort of, this was just part of your life and you were familiar with it, that would be pretty cool to be able to play a game like that. And but yeah, you did a good job of explaining the appeal of Denshide Go.
Yeah,
I always wondered, why would people do this?
Yeah, and I get it. Like it's kind of an intimidating game, especially with the actual controller. Like it's so much easier playing with a regular gamepad. But like, for the 2021 one, I've talked about it at nauseum on the show, and there's a review, and God, I think that's even like almost 15 minutes long. So like, I mean, it's super awesome though. I really love that game on the Switch. Visual, drawbacks aside and all that type of stuff. Really fun series. I'm really glad that I tried. I'm glad I got to play it in the arcade too. It's so cool, like touch screen, and you can see on the sides. It was awesome. So
yeah, I think as simulations go, it seems fairly casual and accessible. Because driving a train is not super complicated, at least the video game version of it. So that was cool. I don't know if there are any other arcade games to mention, but I was just really glad that I got to have the Japanese arcade experience finally. So that was cool. Got to have the Super Potato experience. Got to see all the weirdness of Akihabara. One place I would recommend people go if they're ever in that area of Tokyo is there's a store called Yodobashi Camera, or Yodobashi something, the Japanese word for camera. That is a really intense department store. I don't even know how to begin to describe it, but it's just extremely dense, very overwhelming with products and different kinds of products on every floor. And there are at least one floor is pretty much all video games. The Nintendo section is really beautiful, really nicely designed. It's got tons of plush characters and like statues you can pose with for photographs and things like that. And all the new games, they're not selling used retro anything in that store. It's all the newest, hottest, top of the line washers and dryers and toilets and TV. We saw a 97-inch OLED TV that cost $35,000 and it was intensely beautiful. I stood there for 5 minutes watching this TV because it looked so good. So like it's like CES but a store that you can just go in and buy anything that you see there. I mean, really wild stuff. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, for like us, I don't know about Ty. Like, I mean, I have a similar electronics store in my town. It's obviously not as anywhere near as packed as what you're gonna find in like the Tokyo area. So like, if for us, like being here for as long as we have, it's just like, okay, God, I kind of don't want to go in there. It's like one of those.
right.
Unless I need to.
Understandable. But if
yeah.
you've never been, you have to go.
Absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
Should I talk about video games or should we save that for later?
We can save that for a few minutes. Actually, do you want to talk about our other adventure that we went on, John?
Yeah, definitely. So my friend Taylor, we were talking about things to do in Tokyo. I looked up a few things and I said, hey, yeah, there's this secret video game bar called 84 Hashi. And I don't have Instagram, but Taylor does. So he reached out to, Chokan, the proprietor of this place, and made a reservation for us. And then when we found out you were going to be able to come into the city, Danny, Taylor said, "Oh, Danny should go with you instead of me. He'll enjoy it a lot more than he would." So it's this bar that is it's like a speakeasy sort of, like they don't advertise. There's no signage in public anywhere. You wouldn't be able to find it without going with someone who's been there before. And so we made a reservation and met up with the host, who was Hiroko, or Hirolin, who maybe is still in the chat now. Really super nice lady, really super helpful. She spoke amazing English. And so she met up with us. She took us into the bar, and we went up there, and it is like opening a portal into another world almost. I mean, the place it's not very big by American bar standards. I think it is kind of a typical size for a Japanese bar from what I've experienced so far. But it's much more brightly lit. And we were the only customers at the time. So we sort of got to wander around and look at all this memorabilia. But the owner of the place, his nickname is Chokan, and he worked at Nintendo in the 80s. He's sort of started with Miyamoto and Koji Kondo and Takashi Tezuka and people like that. Worked on a lot of classic Famicom, Super Famicom games, and then at some point went off on his own, started his own company, and was doing sort of support work for not only Nintendo games, but also some third parties with Sony and stuff like that. And seems really well connected in the Japanese gaming industry, and just has tons of friends, and has built great relationships with people, and has worked on dozens of games, maybe hundreds of games that you've heard of, really great stuff. Mother 2, Earthbound, worked on that, Yoshi's Island, stuff like that. So the bar, there's a bar, you can order cocktails. Mine was really good. You can get a beer. They gave us snacks, but also all over this bar. Yeah. The images here kind of say a lot. All over the walls are incredible sketches from game creators, Miyamoto. The musical score to the Super Mario theme from Koji Kondo is up there, written in pencil. Like, he composed it in pencil, and the original is on the wall, signed by Koji Kondo.
Wow.
That blew my mind. That was very affecting to me. Mr. Aonuma has a great sketch of Link up there. I didn't even know he was an illustrator, but it's like really beautiful drawing of Link up there. There's a couple of those. There's a lot of Kirby stuff. Mr. Sakurai, I think, did a sketch of Kirby on there. There's Kojima stuff. He has a great collection of classic game systems. There's a Panasonic Q and like the Famicom Game Boy Micro and things like that.
Crap.
He has the funny Nintendo 64 glove.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
we had a fun conversation about that, and a lot of these things, it's really cool to just hang out and trade story. I got to tell some of my old stories. Just being immersed in all this memorabilia brought back so many memories of being on Planet GameCube and Nintendo World Report, going to all those E3s, meeting a lot of the people who contributed items here, and people who Chokan worked with. So it was super cool. I think as a Nintendo fan, really as a fan of any Japanese game series, there's a lot here to marvel at, things to look at up close and in detail. Many incredible one-of-a-kind type items, like you can see the bottom of the jacket here in this photo, but that's a Mother 2 jacket. I took a photo of it. I can send to you, Danny.
Yeah, I took like 50 photos. I was kind of my idea was like, I don't want people to see like every single thing. So it's like, I want people to like go here and experience this stuff.
You
for
should
themselves.
explore this collection and see it up close, and honestly, you couldn't spoil it. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of items here that, if you're interested in the history of these games, in the details of the people who made these games, you will find a lot to enjoy here. And there's tons of Pokemon plushies, Dragon Quest slime plushies, and drawings by Yuji Horii and things like that. So really pretty amazing stuff. And it's almost more like a museum than a bar. But it is like a very comfortable place. You could hang out and spend a couple of hours and hang out with your friends, but also hang out with Chokan himself and Hiroko and the other people there. So and I want to give a shout out to Robert, who came in sort of unexpectedly and hung out with us, told us his own stories, and I found out he had been a contributor to NWR years ago. He's a friend of Don Koopman, so really cool to talk with him. We got really nerdy about Metroid, and just had a great time there. So yeah, I would definitely recommend, if you're in Tokyo, check this place out. Look it up on Instagram. You can read some articles on Kotaku and Tofugu about this, and get some information there about how to make a reservation and go check it out for yourself. Definitely recommend it. It was pretty special.
Yeah, and I, in the description box on the YouTube and also on the article, like if you're listening to the enhanced version of the podcast, I will just link up like the direct page. So it's like the direct page to set up a reservation for this if you want to, because what this was our own 90 minutes of, it's basically like, it probably depends on how many people are available in like certain time slots or something like that, but it's like you're kind of like a small group's own private time to have in the bar. And yeah, it's just really cool. Like Jonny said, like there's so much stuff, and everything has a story too, which is insane. And like, yeah, even right now there's a cool little, I don't know if it's actually part of one of these machines or not, but back in the day with the Famicom disk system, you could just bring in your discs and get them rewritten for like 500 yen. This is like a rewritable, it's like a sign that says like, hey, this is a rewritable, a place where you can actually buy rewritable Famicom, or like basically do this rewritable service. Like this shop is a rewritable Famicom disk system writer. So that was cool. Like, holy moly, there's a Super Scope hanging out over here too. I just noticed.
There's so many little hidden things, so yeah, it's a fun place just to go in there, slow down, take your time, examine things, and there are lots of little surprises. When you open doors, little sounds play and things like that. It's a delightful experience.
Yeah. And Jonny, I just want to thank you again, you and Taylor, for, letting me join you on this adventure, because this is a place I had heard about for at least a couple of years. And, it's always been on my radar, but it's just something that I was never able to go to. So thank you.
Yeah, it was awesome. Great. I'm really glad I could go with you, Danny.
Yeah,
definitely. It's really
Dude,
fun.
I was really glad to talk with Chokan too. I was asking about like some of the games that he had, worked on. Like he has a little shelf area with the games he worked on, like, like Jonny mentioned earlier, like Donkey Kong Country, Kirby's Dream Course, Mother 2, Pokemon Red and Green, Yoshi's Island. Yeah, even then other things too, like, Custom Robo on the N64, Hey You Pikachu, and like the N64 version of Animal Crossing, which I talked to him a little bit about it because I was like, what'd you do on this thing, man? And he's like, yeah, I worked mainly on like debugging and stuff, but then yeah, I was just talking to him about like that version of the game and just kind of just nerding out because I mean, he just seems like a guy that probably just has a billion stories. I mean, for him, it's just like, you know, an everyday type of thing. It's like, oh yeah, I did that. This is what we did. And then we went out and had a drink with Miyamoto or something, or whatever. So
right.
Yeah. But yeah. So again, if you guys are curious about this, the place is called Hashi in 8-4. And that's kind of like he's, Chokon started working for Nintendo in 1984. It can also symbolize like, World 8-4. And like there's a couple of other reasons. He didn't have a specific one, but it's just kind of what he called it, the bar. But
yeah, super cool place and really nice people, very hospitable, very, very patient with us. We had tons of questions and tons of things we wanted to talk about, and it was great.
Yep. And again, special thanks again to everybody, Chokon, of course, Hidoko, who was there. And like, yeah, you don't have to worry about, language being a thing. That, if Hidoko's there, you are not going to have a problem. She is a champion. She is super good at English, so Japanese obviously too. So like that's not a problem. The barkeep Maki-san, she's awesome. And then Robert too, just helping out. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, we could probably go on forever about this. So, but yeah, again, check out the description box, all that type of stuff. I'll probably have an article on Famicast about this at some point after this as well. So be sure to check that out. But getting to, I guess, some more game type of stuff, like Jonny, I think you kind of remember how the system went with podcasts back in the day, man. What have you been playing lately, man? Never been on one. He's a rookie. Get out of here.
Podcast. Is that some nerd shit?
Yeah. Well, Jonny, what have you been up to, man? What have you been playing?
Well, I picked out a couple of games I played recently that I thought I would talk about. I recently downloaded Gimmick Special Edition for Switch, and had my eye on it for a while because Gimmick is this Famicom game from like a very late era, like 1993 or 94 or something like that. Very late Famicom game that was made by Sunsoft, one of the great 8-bit developers of all time. And I never played it. Never came out in the West, and had never been re-released on Virtual Console or anything like that in the West until this version, Gimmick Special Edition. And I played it on the flight over to Japan.
Oh,
so I was pretty tired when I played it. It's a super hard game, but I should say, like it's a 2D platformer. It kind of looks like Kirby. It does not really play like Kirby. In fact, in a lot of ways, it's sort of the anti-Kirby. It's super difficult, and the mechanics are kind of complicated. Like you play as this little toy who comes to life, and the way that he gets through the levels, other than just running and jumping, there's tons of enemies that are out to get you, and they move in sometimes really strange ways that I think are reactive to your movement. And so sometimes it feels like they're anticipating where you're going, or they're like, they're gonna pounce on you, and it's very difficult to evade them sometimes, and very difficult to hit them with your weapon, which is this star that you have to charge up. You hold down the button to charge up a star, and it forms over his head, and then you have to hold that down as you walk around, and when you let go, you sort of toss it in front of you, like a few steps in front of you, and then it bounces, and it goes on this bouncy trajectory, and then it bounces off walls, and it'll rattle down a hole if it finds a hole or something. And so this kind of weapon is pretty difficult to hit enemies with, actually, and it's your main weapon. And also, you cannot rapid fire it. You have to charge it up every single time, and you can't charge up a new one until the old one disappears. So it either hits an enemy, or it sort of times out, or it goes off the screen and it's gone. And then you can start charging up the next one. So you have to really think deliberately before you launch this attack, and you want to make sure that it's going to do what you need it to do. Also, you can ride on top of the star. So sometimes you can throw it at a wall, it bounces off the wall, then you jump on it as it comes back to you, and then you can jump off of it to get a little extra height and get up to other platforms. Wow. So a lot of the secrets involve doing this kind of trickery. So there's a lot of physics in the game, which is just super unusual for an 8-bit Famicom NES game. Like I can't think of any other game that has this much physics in it. And the physics they're video game physics. They're very particular. They're pretty tricky to deal with sometimes. And the game overall is just super difficult. The nice thing about Gimmick Special Edition is it has a rewind feature. And I would never be able to see most of this game if not for the rewind feature. I abused it like a noob the whole time, and I managed to beat the game. I think I only got the like normal casual ending, and there's like a super special secret ending that I have some ideas about how you get that, but I haven't gone back to try to do that yet. But it's unfathomable to me that people back in the 90s playing this on a real, like on the original system without the rewind feature, without the cheat codes. I don't know how anybody would have been able to get through this game. It's so difficult. It's some of the bosses, the patterns, the way that they move, they dodge your attacks. So you have to almost trick them into like stepping in front of the star or bounce the star off of something so that it kind of like gets to the boss. And sometimes that's the only way that you'll ever hit it.
My God.
I was shocked at the complexity of the action in this game and how tricky even just like basic things that you must do in order to proceed. These aren't optional secrets and things. Just to get through the levels and beat the bosses at the ends of the levels are wildly difficult and tricky. So if you like these old retro action games, I think this one is so interesting, so strange. So novel, and it just doesn't really feel or play like any other game I've ever played from this era. But it is not for the faint of heart. You better be into Mega Man. You better be into maybe Journey to Silius or some of the other Sunsoft games that are just really brutal. You got to be patient.
Sounds
even
fun.
with the rewind. You probably love it, Ty. But even with the rewind feature, sometimes I'm like rewinding it 100 times, just like the enemies just keep hitting me, and I'm trying to find that one frame where I made the jump, but then I didn't get hit immediately after because there are enemies just spraying bullets at you and stuff. And it's like, how am I supposed to get from one side to the other without getting hit here? It's nuts. But it is, the animation, the physics are amazing for the time period that it came out, for the platform. I mean, it's it looks a bit like Kirby's Adventure on NES, but it has a lot more colors and it takes up the whole screen. There's like a little band at the bottom with your score, but it's smaller than the one on Kirby. So like it really pops. I mean, it really has an amazing look to it. I want to give a word of caution here. It's not super intuitive how to play the game. The controls and the mechanics really kind of take some explanation before you can understand how to play it and how to have any kind of success. And even though this is the special edition that they finally released in English and they finally put out in the West, there is no English manual included. You can look at the Japanese manual, or you can look at there's a European version called Mr. Gimmick, and they included that one too, but it's in, I don't know, Norwegian or I didn't recognize the language, but it's definitely not English. It's not even German. So yeah, I looked through the manuals hoping to pick up some tips, and it really wasn't very helpful at all. So I think you would still want to, unless you know one of these languages, you might still be going to the internet just to figure out how to play this game, even though they're charging $15-$20 for it. So it's not the easiest game to recommend from a couple of different standpoints, but I think if you're like in the target audience for something like this, it is kind of awesome. Very, very cool game. I'm glad I finally got to play it.
Yeah, it looks like Lemonade sounded up in the chat. He says, yeah, I got a physical copy of Gimmick on Switch. I'm not sure I like the actual game, but the music is incredible.
Yeah, I was just looking into that while you guys were talking, and I found some very interesting things, but nothing super famous.
Okay.
Funnily enough.
It looks like JC popped into the chat too. He's like, I swear I saw that guy in Tokyo Station today, or someone that looks a lot like him. Weird.
Yeah, it's true. So the other game I've been playing a lot recently, and I actually just finished it right before this trip. I really wanted to make sure that I kind of saw the story conclude before I had to walk away for a couple of weeks, is Sea of Stars. I played it on Xbox because I have Game Pass, so it was included with that. So I played that rather than spend money on it. But it's on Switch. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it works great on Switch, actually. It'd be a really nice way to play Sea of Stars. But it's an indie game. It's a Japanese style RPG. Although it's actually, I think, made in France primarily. And it is a very beautiful tribute to Chrono Trigger, which is probably my favorite game of all time. And it's been my favorite game since I played Chrono Trigger back in 1995 on Super Nintendo. So the people who made this game clearly love Chrono Trigger as much as I do, and more importantly, they understand what makes Chrono Trigger great, from the artwork to the battle system to the story, the writing, the music, the general vibe of it, which is like it's dealing with it's a really serious story about the end of the world and horrible things happening, but the characters who are going through this, they have a positive attitude, and they deal with hardships along the way, but they're trying to have fun and tell each other jokes and cheer each other up. You stay at campfires to save your game and recover health. That you can find places throughout the world where you can do that. And every time you stay at a campfire, you can shoot. It's optional, but you can walk around and talk to everybody, and they'll kind of tell you what's on their mind, or they might give you a hint about a side quest that you could go and get powered up a little bit if you're having trouble. The battles are really fun, very strategic. There's like a cool system where when the enemies, it's all turn-based, by the way, but there are little timing things like Super Mario RPG. So when your attack is about to land, you can press the button at the right moment, you get a little bit of extra damage, and the same thing when you're defending from the enemies. And the really new thing, and their combo abilities you can use just like Chrono Trigger. So depending on who's in your party, their special moves can combine and do extra damage and do special things, or there might be all kinds of different advantages to using them. Maybe some of them can attack more than one enemy at a time. But the thing you're seeing here is the lock system. So when the enemies are getting ready to use a special move, these symbols will appear above their head, and they represent different kinds of attacks. So, it might be a sword or a hammer for blunt attacks. It might be the sun for the sun magic that one of the characters can use. And if you're able to use all those attacks, or even some of those attacks before the special move goes off, it'll make it weaker. And if you can hit all of them and clear all those locks by using just the right kinds of abilities, then they'll never do the special move at all. You'll just interrupt them and spare yourself probably a lot of pain, or maybe prevent them from healing each other, for example, which can be really crucial during boss fights later in the game. So there's like a ton of strategy. You'll want to swap characters out very frequently, like sometimes right in the middle of battle, so that you can use the right kind of move in order to prevent the enemies from using their stuff. There's a lot of spatial stuff, like sometimes certain attacks can hit enemies as long as they're close enough together, or in a certain pattern, and then eventually you get moves that allow you to move the enemies closer together so that you can set up different kinds of things later. Also some really cool puzzles in the dungeons. There's a nice overworld that's like more zoomed out that looks a lot like Chrono Trigger when you're kind of walking around the map to looking for the next place that you need to go to. Tons of characters. It's really gorgeous, wonderful game. It's maybe 30 hours long to do absolutely everything in it, and you could beat it in less than that, but I did every single side quest. I got the regular ending, and then I got the true ending, which really was actually like had some emotional punch. The whole sequence of getting ready to do the true ending is really great. I can't spoil it, but it's good stuff. It definitely looks back to Chrono Trigger for a lot of that kind of inspiration. And I absolutely loved it. I thought it was just about perfect. Yeah. So this is from the team that made The Messenger, which is like a really awesome indie game from early in the Switch life, maybe back in like 2018 or so.
Yeah, I think we all played that.
Yeah, I did not,
Messenger
but I
totally
remember.
Rips. It's an awesome action. It's like more like a Ninja Gaiden with a bit of Metroid mixed in too. And I love that game. The music is incredible. Really fast, really smooth action game. And like Sea of Stars is like a completely different kind of game, right? Totally different genre, much longer, way different. And I would say it's even better than The Messenger. So I mean, you know, they're doing some DLC for it now. It's gonna like have new story stuff, maybe go to new areas of the game. I think maybe they might even put in new playable characters.
Wow, okay.
I'm super excited for that, and I really cannot wait to see what these people do with their next game. You know, I think they're incredibly talented and smart. You know, they're not just good at imitating these old games. They know what makes them great. They know how to recreate those, and they also know how to put their own variations on it and try new innovative things that kind of like keep the spirit of the old thing but make it feel new. You know, so it's like it is retro style, but it also in a lot of ways feels like a modern game. Just beautiful stuff. It's exactly the kind of game that I want to play all the time. Just more stuff like this.
Nice. Yeah, it's been on my radar. It's just been one of those things where it's like, okay, what am I playing now? You know, like what do I have to play next? Or, you know, something like that. It's just like one of those things I just haven't gotten to, unfortunately. But yeah, definitely on my radar. And just a bit of a little bit of a news break, and actually thanks to Lemonade for this. But apparently, the new Splatoon 3 DLC just finally got a release date. We've known about it for a while, but this looks like it's coming on the 22nd of February. So Splatoon 3 fans, get happy and get out your wallets if you haven't already. So there we go. Cool, man. Well, Johnny, thank you. You can leave. No.
See you in hell.
Now.
Yeah. Yeah, thanks a lot for that, man. Appreciate it. And actually, let's turn things over to Ty. Speaking of Xbox Game Pass.
Xbox Game Pass. Okay. All right.
Ty?
Well, in preparation for today's show, I played with, according to the hard drive, the currently most argued about game on Steam, Palworld. So, you know, as a fellow Game Pass owner, I have that shit. And yeah, it's you may know it as like the Pokemon with guns game.
Right. Yeah, I'm getting some screenshots ready. I mean, a lot of these I think everybody's seen by now, but
Yeah,
we got everything.
that is like the best screenshot to open up with.
Yeah. Hey, this is their first screenshot that they have on their like Steam page or whatever. So like, wow, this is awesome. Okay, let's go.
That's smart.
Yeah, and it's the sheep with like freaking machine guns. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Nice. I mean the sandbags and like the belt fed mounted guns that really sell it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just wild. So, dude, like, okay, like, of course, everybody like knows at least visually like what this game is, but what is this? Like, what are you doing?
This is a survival game.
Okay.
Like if you played like Ark or what are some other ones?
Minecraft?
Minecraft kinda, yeah. Or Conan Exiles, which I have played. I don't know if a lot of other people have played it. But
you talking about that one? That there's a certain adjuster on there that.
Oh yeah, that's amazing.
Oh boy.
So when actually one of my coworkers was telling me about this game because he got to play it before I did.
Okay.
And the way he described it sounded exactly like Conan Exiles. And I would say, yeah, it's pretty similar to that, except you also catch Pokemon and fight with them. And I mean, yeah.
Like whenever you're actually fighting with your pals, like is it menu based or like how does that work?
No, it's like all real time. It's more like it's like a 3D action game. Like you see like some pal you want. I'm just gonna keep calling him Pokemon. You see some guy you want, and you beat him to death with a stick. Except you don't. You have to wait till they're just like in authentic Pokemon. You can't knock them out. You have to get them down low and then throw your Pokeball at them, and you can carry 5 with you at a time.
Okay.
Now the big thing is they have like a lot of different potential attributes. I mean, So what you do is you take them back to your base and you fucking put them to work.
Okay.
Right. So this is more like how Conan Exiles works. Is like you go out there, you beat people with your club, and then you enslave them, and that's what you do with these guys. And you've got guys that are more suited to other tasks and not. And I heard later on, like bands of Pokemon or guys or whatever will come and try to raid your base. So you can have your various guys on deck to do base defense. And you're gonna build up your base like with like these prefab things. Like if you've ever seen Conan, you know exactly how it works. If you've ever seen Fortnite, you kind of know how it works.
Okay.
Like you gather resources by slapping a tree 50 times, or if you have an axe, it works much better.
Okay.
Yeah, and like you can see in this one screenshot here, like you have like this not Flareon, like just working the fireplace here, working the campfire. You have this monkey on the side. You can give him a gun. It's pretty sick.
Yeah.
So I'm having fun with it right now. There's a lot of things like I've kind of raised an eyebrow at while I'm playing it, but like, I think the way you're supposed to progress through the game is a lot more clear than it is with Conan.
Okay.
Or I played Conan early, like when it first came out, maybe literally in early access, and it was a little unintuitive. But like this game, it gives you like a tick box on the right that teaches you how to play the game, basically, which is very nice and comfy. And you can play it with your friends, and there's like you can set up your own game, and you can like tweak the settings for like everything, which is kind of nice. Like I just jumped in on normal, and like I'm getting through it okay, even though I think it's meant for like multiple people.
Okay. So you can play just by yourself if you want to. You don't have to play with tons of other people.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And you can just make it invite only or whatever, or it's pretty comfy in that regard. Okay. I think it actually does have crossplay, but the caveat is that right at this very moment, like not all the patches are on parity with each other. So like if you're on Xbox, I think you're like one version behind of Steam.
Right. I think I've read about that too. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. But like in theory, it's crossplay.
Sure.
Ish. Yeah.
Okay.
So I've only got a few hours into it. Like I played up to the first boss, and like I fought the first boss way too early and got steamrolled. But other than that, it's like kind of mostly a pretty straightforward survival game. It's like a cuter, more intuitive Conan Exiles, is how I would describe it.
Okay.
And I don't know if a lot of people have even played Conan Exiles. But...
I kind of doubt it, because I remember you talked about it years ago on the show.
Yeah.
I remember thinking in my head, like, what is this? Aside from the dong enlarger or whatever.
Yeah.
Was that actually real, or is that just
That's
a joke?
real? That's
okay.
real. You can play the game with your dick out, and there's a slider for it, and you're gonna set it like all the way up or all the way down. Like there's no middle ground.
Oh man. Yeah. Okay.
Gosh.
See, I knew I remembered something about that game. That's the important part, I guess.
I hope that slider is not in Palworld for these monsters.
No, these guys didn't even have like a boob size slider. They're total cowards. They're like 3 sliders. So it's like head size, torso size, and like leg size or something.
Okay.
It's pretty weak. You can make a horrible mutant looking character, but
I forgot Russ in our Discord. He made a monstrosity. Like I don't even see how this creature that's maybe a human could even walk with those proportions. It was horrifying. It looks like something you could see out of like oh my god, like it was awful. I mean, good on him for the imagination, I guess, but
Yeah, but yeah, but there are only like 3 sliders, and you pick your hair and your eyes and your colors, and that's about it.
Okay.
So you for better or worse, you won't spend like 8 hours on the that monkey's got that is straight up an 8K. Like, let's
Yes.
go.
Yes, like if you're watching the video right now, you can see this awesome monkey with an AK. If you're listening to the enhanced version, you look at your phone, you can see this little green monkey with a freaking AK-47. It's stupid, but it's kind of awesome.
Like it's one thing to say we made a game with like Pokemon style characters carrying guns, and that would be strange on its own, but they're like weirdly realistic guns. Like they just don't seem to fit into the world or with these characters at all.
I know, it's great. It's like when you buy it's like a Chinese knockoff mobile game.
Yeah, it has that kind of a look. I will say, I mean, I know a lot of people are slamming this game for like kind of ripping off Pokemon character designs, and I don't know modern Pokemon enough to know how close these are.
Some of them are pretty blatant.
Yeah, I'll say. I mean, I think the character models look really good. Like, I think they kind of they have the same kind of like, really cute quality that Pokemon does, but obviously this is all super high definition. It's like a PC game, so like it's neat to see a take on this that on a more powerful hardware. Guns or not.
All right. Well, I'm gonna talk a little bit about the game fidelity.
Okay.
Yeah, the character models are pretty good, but okay, the first thing I noticed when I played the game, I love this sweatshop photo. Holy shit!
This is official screenshots from the game. Like, it's not my screenshots, so yeah, promotional material here.
So one of the first things I noticed is like all the sounds. Sound like they were recorded through like a $10 Walmart mic.
Cool. Like
the sound quality is like really low, really grainy, like it's been like severely compressed for like a GBA or a DS game. Like and like I assume there's like I did notice the download size for the game was surprisingly small. Like I was expecting like a 50 gig piece of shit, but
me too.
It was pretty small actually.
It's like 6.1 gigs or something like that. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and like a lot of the textures are like, this is looking kind of PS2, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
But I think there's reasoning for that. First of all, it's a really fucking big world, and it has a really good draw distance. And it's a survivor game where like players are going to be building like big fuck ass like jigsaw puzzle fucking looking mansions and shit. So I think it's like a shit ton of like extreme optimization just to keep like the environment big, visible, and not exploding your shitty computer when you steal mom's credit card to play not Pokemon.
Right.
Isn't this also early access? So some of the low fidelity parts of it, I guess, could get improved in the future.
Yeah. Yeah, it does say game preview on Xbox. Although it is fully functional, it has the achievements and all that shit.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, I'll let you know how that goes.
Right. Achievement Hunter Ty. Yep.
Yep. Oh boy, Jonny, I don't know if you heard all the lengths I've gone through to get achievements on this fucking podcast, but I played some fucked up shit.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. That was the classic.
Yeah. I played the frozen version of Candy Crush for like a while.
Loved it. Did you love it?
It was kind of fun, I guess.
You must love achievements more than you love your time.
Yeah. I don't know. I think certain games, like, they look at me the wrong way, and I just want to fuck them up. I think that's the best way I can describe it.
Sure.
It's like this shitty fucking mobile game that got ported to Xbox thinks it can get money out of me. I think not.
It's gonna get time instead.
Right.
Lemonade. Well, Lemonade says, just in regard to Palworld, he says like, yeah, I just don't see the appeal of this game at all.
Okay. I think I can explain the appeal here.
Okay.
For some kinds of people, maybe all kinds of people, even if they don't realize it yet, base building with your bros is an incredibly fun thing to do.
Okay.
Like I've done it in a few different games, like Minecraft or Project Zomboid or I don't know, Conan. There are a lot of survival kind of games. Just anything where you build a base with your bros. It's fun. It's fun. It's a very chill thing to do, and in these kind of games, like really fun and funny things inevitably happen. Like irrelevant to like the kind of game or quality of game that it is. If you're just hanging out with your bros building a thing, it's fun.
Ty, don't you do that in State of Decay? I know you're a fan of that one.
Yeah, I love that game. Although like everything in that game is like really prefab, that's more like of a what I like to call a trash bear simulator, where you like you explore the world and you dig through trash to find things. That is like one of my weird guilty pleasures in video games.
Oh, you should try The Last of Us. Most of the game is just digging through the trash and hiding from not zombies.
Nice. Yeah, like if anybody has sold me on that game, it's you, because like people talk about like cinematic masterpiece with a beautiful story. That's the last fucking thing I want. I wanna like fucking dig through like old ammo boxes for bottle caps and lead bars.
Yes. You got to find all the nuts and the bolts and the bandages and things like that, and empty bottles to make Molotov cocktails.
Like it bent tin cans, hook me up.
Yeah,
that's the shit. Okay. So yeah, if you like base building and I don't know, just like open copyright infringement, I think this is the game for you.
Yes.
Who doesn't love that?
Enslaving cute characters and making them do things for you.
Yeah. See, like in film, you have to wait 95 years before Steamboat Willie can be used in a horror movie and given an axe and go out and murder children. But in video games, I guess you can just kind of I guess it only took about 30 years for Pokemon.
Right, just alter it just enough, and it's fine.
We'll see. I have a feeling the other shoe might drop on this one. Did you guys hear about the guy that made a mod to change the main character to Ash and like the fake Pokemon to legit Pokemon?
Yeah, like he was adding in like other like Pikachu and other
he posted
Pokemon.
like a single ominous tweet like Nintendo found me and then disappeared.
Then the ninjas stormed into his home and took
They
over.
found me.
It's crazy too. I mean, Lemonade mentioned it in the chat, and I'd seen this before the show too. But like, this game is already sold, or at least it says sold through 6 million units. I don't know what they do.
Yeah, it's like number one on Steam or in the ballpark right now. Yeah, it's definitely got that mind share.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
So people are just curious, I think, more than anything, regardless of maybe what they feel about it.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised. Isn't it like $40 fucking or something if you don't have Game Pass?
Something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm mildly interested, and I'm glad that you played this because I did not. But I was just kind of curious, like, what this is all about. Because all I've been seeing on social media is people being mad that it looks like Pokemon, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't care about that. I mean, it probably runs better than regular Pokemon anyway.
Yeah. True story. Yeah. Anyway, I don't give a shit about the any of the ethics of them like blatantly ripping off an IP.
Yeah,
it's a survival game, and if you've never played a survival game before and you jump in solo, it might be kind of off-putting. but like if you know what you're getting into before you jump in, it's pretty fun. If you got some bros to build a base with, it's pretty good.
Okay. I have no, well, I guess I have you, but it'd be like timing. I don't know. I'm bad about playing online games, man. I've talked about it on the show before too. It's like, I'm never ready for a long period of time aside from when we do our Famicast game night. It's usually like, okay, I'm playing a game. Okay, the cat's doing something. Okay, I gotta do something around the house or whatever. So it's just, man, we're like in different places. You know what I'm saying? So like,
not me. I live like a fucking possum in a trash heap, and I'm like, yeah, I'm down for whatever. I'll play this game for 12 hours straight. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, cool. All right. Well, Ty, if you don't mind, I'll continue on with some actually kind of related talk to this as well, because I recently re-upped my Game Pass subscription.
Oh, let's go.
I bought an Xbox Series S back in October 2022. I had Game Pass for a good chunk of 2023, but I just didn't really make too much use of it, honestly. Like I sometimes was getting busy with like work. Sometimes was getting busy doing stuff like for the show or YouTube or website or whatever. But yeah, I just found myself like I didn't have time to like actually play my Xbox like on my TV. So like there was one specific game I was going to talk about today, but I'll maybe just save that for another time. It's #old. But one thing that I've been kind of interested in here recently is, and I know Ty, you're going to hate this, but like playing Xbox games on my phone via the cloud. Okay. So like, obviously, cloud gaming is not the best when it comes to like fidelity. Sometimes, obviously connection speed's a thing too. And like all sorts of other things that you just have kind of no control over to an extent. I mean, yeah, if you're stealing Wi-Fi from your neighbor's cell phone, obviously you're gonna have a crap experience, but you gotta
time for some Street Fighter ranked matches.
Yeah, right. There we go. But it's like even on the show and over the past years and stuff like that. Back in 2018, when Assassin's Creed Odyssey came out day and date in Japan only on the cloud on the Switch, like I picked it up just as a curiosity.
And then we became the internet's #1 experts on it.
Yes, I kind of like seriously. Like my video was getting quoted and stuff, and I was like, man, you guys could have just checked out the written form and probably got these quotes a little bit easier. But but anyways, like no, it was not a lot of people could even have access to it because it was like IP locked and stuff like that. But and oddly enough, too, it had English as well. But with that, I was really kind of amazed at what gaming could be on the cloud, because I didn't have too many problems with it. It ran pretty well. They capped it off at like 720p, but it was more or less fine. So I was really impressed at the idea of cloud gaming. So, with Xbox doing their cloud gaming stuff, I was kind of curious, and I tried it on my phone before, back when I had Game Pass last year, like without like any kind of controller, just like playing it with like, the touch stuff. And that is not fun. That sucks. That is just freaking awful. So like,
right.
Over break, like winter break, I wanted to pick up something, but then I didn't until right after the last episode that we did a couple weeks ago. So I went ahead and actually picked up a Backbone controller for a USB-C version, a Backbone controller.
All right, let me have a look. All right, looks good. I like it. Yeah. I like the layout.
And I have like, and honestly, and then, I have the new iPhone. I another thing I wanted to do with this too is try out like Biohazard, Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil Village on iPhone, like natively as well, to see how that went. Thankfully they have a free demo, which I tried out too. And
Bold
with this,
move.
Yeah, I mean, it's free, because otherwise it's kind of expensive. Yeah, but I mean, honestly, like this thing is really comfortable. Like,
it looks good. I like it.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with this. Some people.
And do you know how I am about controllers?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you'd like this, Ty. I mean, some of the buttons are a little bit small because, I mean, it is essentially like a mobile product. I mean, it's kind of like almost, I'd say, similar to like Joy-Con size for like the face buttons and stuff like that.
Right.
For me, the triggers and stuff like that are a little bit higher than what I would like, but I mean,
How the buttons feel? Do they feel like clicky or do they feel squishy?
The clicky.
Oh, I like it. I like it a lot.
It's better than squishy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, D-pad's pretty decent from just what I've tried. I mean, I was playing like Assassin's Creed Valhalla for like a couple of hours with this thing, and it's been great. I haven't played anything that needs like a D-pad or anything like that, but yeah, I'm wanting to play more with this to kind of like form like my final opinions on like how good is this? I mean, right now I think this is awesome. I mean, it is a little expensive. In Japan, it's 20,000 yen, so maybe like $150, $160 or something like that. So it's not cheap. And
ooh, that is the spicy meatball.
Yeah,
but I would hope for that if it's at
expected.
least a good controller.
Yeah. So I mean, there's that. They also even have like a service that you can pay for to. I'm trying to remember what the hell it does. It seems kind of superfluous, honestly. Like $40 a year, you can get your first year for free or something like that. And I think, well, one other thing too. I mean, the controller does have like a capture button as well, like for your phone, so you could like hit this and take screenshots. And it says you can do videos as well, but I think you have to pay for that service for it to do that.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah. Otherwise, I mean, what I've been doing or what I just did like regular screen capture on my phone, manually. Which is kind of jank. But I mean, it's fine. It works. But yeah, it's been an interesting experience because what I was trying to get at earlier is one of the things is I can't play my Xbox on TV so often. So like having this thing is a really cool, convenient way to be able to like make use of my Game Pass subscription as opposed to just let it sit there for 3 months and like not play anything, which is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
So
plus I would love to play. I would actually like to have some Xbox games on my phone, just like the ones where it doesn't matter if you have input delay.
Sure.
Like something like XCOM or Ace Attorney or something. Like I would be happy to grind that out at work when I should be working.
Even something like Sea of Stars, you could definitely play over that. There's a little bit of timing stuff in the battles, but it's also like Mario RPG. It's totally optional. Like you get a bit of a boost, but you don't have to do it.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Assassin's Creed is a pretty action heavy game, and if you start getting some little glitchy things, you're going to get messed up pretty quickly. But yeah, even on the Switch version when I was playing it does happen. But yeah, if you can overlook that type of stuff, that's fine. But like, again, as a controller, I think this is a very capable way of being able to play games like on the go. The Resident Evil stuff actually felt pretty good too with this. I mean, that's another topic of discussion, just kind of like the visual conceits they had to make for the game running on natively on iPhone. But then again, what's crazy about that, Resident Evil 4, a game that came out on like modern platforms, looked freaking gorgeous, is now available in the palm of my hands natively, which is freaking crazy.
That's the remake of RE4, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
nice.
Oh my God, that was really cool.
I'll say, like, I think the nice thing about Game Pass's version of cloud gaming is that it doesn't support every game on Game Pass, but it's most of them. So, if you already pay for Game Pass, this is like a bonus feature, and you could go through the library and try all kinds of stuff, so you don't have to buy like a specific cloud version of each individual game, like some of the other ones you've been talking about. That's a controller like that could almost be like having a new system, where now it's kind of like getting a Switch for your Xbox. Now you can play it portably when you want to, assuming you have a pretty good Wi-Fi connection wherever you are, and assuming that the game you want to play is on that service. But Game Pass has got like 300 or 400 games on it, I think. So you'd have a pretty good selection with that, and it's already included. That cloud stuff it's not like an extra fee or anything.
Exactly. And I mean, because this does, especially for me, it breathes life into what's available, which is awesome. And like I said, it makes me actually feel like I'm actually, making a wise purchasing decision or something like that with my time. And it is kind of a pity because, like you said, Jonny, I do wish, and maybe this is where Microsoft's heading at some point. Maybe they will try to get every game that I think maybe in the future. I would venture to say they probably want everybody to make cloud versions or have cloud versions available of all of their games, kind of like similar to how back 10 years ago they started, a lot of companies, I think it started with Nintendo, oddly enough, started saying like, hey, do physical and digital, like this type of stuff. I could maybe see something like that happening, like, hey, have a download version physical if you want to, and then do a cloud version too, because this is part of our business and people need to be able to play this wherever.
Well, one series you'll definitely be able to play on that for a long time to come, Call of Duty, and Diablo, I guess, Overwatch, all that stuff. I some of that is not on Game Pass yet, but give it 12 months, it will be.
Yeah.
Well, Overwatch is free to play now.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
There it is.
You're good.
Yeah. One other thing too. If you're an iPhone user, this comes with like 3 months of like Apple Arcade Plus or whatever. So like, I still haven't activated it. If you're into what's on offer there are some games that have controller support and stuff.
Apple
too, so.
Gaming, let's go.
Yeah. It'd be native at least. So.
Right.
But. Yeah. All right. Well, that's, I think, a really, really super healthy dose of new business. So before we move on to the latter half of the show, let's go ahead and take a quick break with some Now Playing at thefamicast.com. Alrighty, Now Playing at thefamicast.com. Lots of stuff going up on the website. We've had several things going up on YouTube, a lot of things on Patreon and stuff like that too, trying to keep you guys updated on everything. And I just want to give you guys just a couple of more updates as well. Just recently I put out a #/old review of Super Mario RPG that you can check out right now on YouTube. You can also check it out in written form on the website if you so desire. I made a post for our patrons as well. We have a Famicast game night coming up in February. Balls, he'd already made a suggestion on like a date in like the article and stuff like that. But if you guys are free and you want to join me and Ty to have some fun playing some awesome games, hopefully some more Quake 2, because that's that fucking rocks,
all-time
man.
bigger.
Like, seriously, the crossplay with that is amazing, and I'm so glad that like Ty, just kind of like on a whim, you just said like, "Yo, you should like get that or something." I was like, "Yes, sure." And man, that rocked. I was really glad that I picked it up, and it's been kind of a hit during the game night too. So hopefully we can get on that. Hopefully, if and when there's a Nintendo Direct, hopefully we'll be able to play something hot from there. So we'll see how that goes. Other than that, lots of stuff on the horizon, on the website, Patreon, and all that type of stuff. So yeah, all of this and more. Where at, Ty?
The Famicast.va.
Yes.
Vatican City.
Nailed it.
I gotta give me a V. No, it's .com. But
okay. Thank you.
I gotta give me a .va domain.
What's V? Maybe I don't want to know.
It's Vatican City.
Or Virginia. Ty, what are we doing next? I totally blanking, man.
It's time for the ritual sacrifice to the JAPANews.
That's right. That's right, folks. It's the time of the show where it's the JAPANews. We talk about the latest and greatest comings and goings of Japan and the news and Nintendo. Sometimes none of these things, but today it's these things for sure. And for the first bit of news, actually, Jonny, would you mind taking that? Doesn't have to be word for word, but yeah, just however you want to go for it, man.
Yeah. Well, we've got a new update to Nintendo Switch Online. So they've added a couple of new GBA games. The first ones in a while, I think. There aren't that many GBA games on there. But if you have the expansion pack, you can now play Golden Sun and the sequel, Golden Sun: The Lost Age, on Nintendo Switch Online. Definitely two of the most popular original RPGs released on GBA. And classic games, I actually wrote a pretty controversial review of Golden Sun back when it first came out. Maybe not my best review, but I'll stand by what I said about it. I think it looks really cool, and I think the puzzles are fun and the story is pretty trash. But I never did. There's a lot of scenes where like characters are standing around just sort of like communicating in like emoticons. There's a lot of ... and like little smiley faces.
I hate that shit so much.
Popping up over their heads, and it's like they're not really talking. But it's a cool game. The battle animations are amazing. Really cool stuff there. And then Golden Sun: The Lost Age came out a couple years later. I never played that one, but most people think it's much better. So, if and when I get the expansion pack, I would definitely have to check that one out. And, I think these games are at least really cool curiosities from the time, because, the GBA is, most of the RPGs on the GBA, I feel like, are like remakes and ports from other systems, a lot of Super Nintendo stuff on there. But there aren't like a ton of original GBA RPGs that aren't, Pokemon and stuff like that. And Golden Sun was, published by Nintendo, made by Camelot, like really, really incredible pedigree, and really cool that they did these original RPGs, and also the two games communicated with each other. I'm not sure how they're handling that with NSO, but like the original ones had like a super long password that like encoded all the data of your characters so that you could import them into the sequel. Yeah.
I remember seeing on at least NCL's website that there is a way that they're handling it. I don't remember what it is, but it doesn't seem as cumbersome as all that. So
it couldn't be as convoluted as the original method.
Yeah. And by the way, Lemonade has something to tell us too.
Dot. Oh my God. Jonny, did you ever play any of the Coldicept games?
No, I've heard of them.
They're really fun, but
coincidentally, Chokon worked the guy from Hashi, the place. He worked on Coldcept 2 on PlayStation 2. Apparently, that was on his little shelf.
Yeah.
So I'm a big fan of Coldcept Saga on Xbox 360, but it has hands down like the worst fucking story I've seen in my life. Fortunately, it's not that important to the game. The game is you're playing like Monopoly and Yu-Gi-Oh at the same time. It kicks ass. But like the story is it's like ... is like 2/3 of like the main character's dialogue. I wanted to like just fucking throw this mug right through the TV. Like I hated it so fucking much.
Just makes you wish for a skip button. You could just blast through all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, actually, Jonny, I when I put your name next to this on the agenda, I was hoping that you'd have some kind of a good story. And now I want to like check out your review over on Nintendo World Report. Like I'll probably have it linked up somewhere. So
it's always so fun on the show when like a game from 20 years ago comes up, and it's like, oh, I have a review for that.
Oh yeah.
Like
it's still online. You can find it very easily.
Anytime like this type of stuff happens, especially Game Boy Advance era stuff, N64 stuff, any type of news like that. I mean, obviously, I usually like look at Ty and be like, "Yo, did you do something with this? Did you play this at E3?" He's like, "Oh yeah, I played the N64 version before it like came out, before it got transformed into a Wii version or something." But
true story.
I mean, that didn't happen, but it's like it's always kind of fun, and I think if you listen to Ty talk a lot these days, he's obviously talking a lot about Xbox, but there was a point in time where Ty was, a really hardcore Nintendo fan.
It's true.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Yes. Back when shrooms were still legal.
Yes.
For you,
it's strange, but it feels like that's the exact date when like I thought Nintendo games stopped being cool.
All right.
It's like Pikmin was the last one.
Okay.
So I by the way, I just found the review, just a little quick Google, and I gave Golden Sun a 7 out of 10. And it was probably one of the lowest review scores that it got at the time. And I'll stand by that. I mean, that if I think back to my experience playing through the game, it was definitely like a 7 out of 10 at best. A lot of things I liked about it, a lot of problems. And I think at the time, people were so desperate for like new, original, cool RPGs on that system that they really wanted it to be amazing. It's just not amazing, but it is a very cool game that's worth checking out. Definitely. Sure. If you have NSO, you should do it.
Yep. Or if you're like me, you just reach over to the shelf and you're like, I just got this sitting over here from launch day.
You ever played that?
I did. I played for about 10 hours or something like that, and then
that's decent. Yeah.
And then my cart got stolen, just gone, and now I had the box. But I recently found a cart only for like 5,000 yen. It's like $40 or something like that.
Cool.
So complete again. Moving on with the news. Ty, do you want to take this next part?
Hell yeah, brother. Let's see. After being unceremoniously a day after registration was complete, Nintendo Live is back, baby. Live 2024 in Tokyo, sort of.
Yes.
Okay, so in person is canceled. You're not getting tickets. You're not getting in. But
Nope.
Nintendo is going to be streaming the 2 concerts that were originally going to take place. So let's see. First concert goes live Friday, February 9th, 8 p.m. Japan time.
Yep.
So like early morning in the US.
Yeah.
And let's see, Splatoon 3 Bunker Live Roar concert will, with an asterisk, I don't know what that's about.
Okay.
That concert will hit the digital airwaves on Saturday, February 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Additionally, NCL is now selling event-related merch on the online My Nintendo store in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
Good luck getting that if you're in the US.
Yes. Yeah, actually the merch is ridiculously comprehensive. There's just a lot of like really cool stuff, just t-shirts and stuff like this. Really cool, damn it. Really cool designs. I went ahead and pre-ordered a couple of these things because what else am I going to do? Keep this in the bag and throw it on the shelf next to the other ones? Probably, but we'll see. I might wear some of them.
We got
exactly. It happens sometimes.
You got an article up with pictures, and some of the stuff looks pretty sick, actually.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. I put like the prices of it. I mean, the thing that sucks if you don't have a My Nintendo account in Japan and like a valid Japanese address, you are not going to be able to buy these things, which sucks. But if you are living in Japan and you do have all of these things, like there's some really cool stuff. I picked up the hoodie, a t-shirt, this towel, and a couple of other things, to maybe one of these tote bags. And all of this stuff, as long as you order it like pretty relatively soon, you'll be able to get it before this online concert and stuff like that, which is nice. I was coincidentally, when me and Jonny were at Hashi, the bar, I was talking with Chokon about the event that happened previously in 2022, Nintendo Live, and it was fun. I mean, I did wish they had more demos for games, but I think this as an experience, it was great. And it sucks that this one did get canceled. Jonny, did you hear about like any of that stuff?
Yeah, you were telling me that there were some threats, really, really bad situations. So I'm glad they're going to end up doing at least some version of it.
Yeah, it's so wild that like literally was just talking about that yesterday, and now they're like, "Yo, we're kind of coming back."
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's good timing. And the orchestral concert, that's awesome. I mean, I've only been to a couple of things like that. I did a Zelda concert once in Hollywood, and at the Greek Theater in Hollywood, and that was really fantastic. And if you've never been to a game concert before, I definitely recommend it. Assuming you'll recognize some of the music, it's so like to hear it performed live by an orchestra. It's usually rearranged, like really lush, really beautiful. Just sounds different and really better probably than the original. So it's really nice to hear that and to see it performed by a huge group of like real humans. And the other thing is like there's really good people watching in the audience. Like people will cosplay for this kind of stuff. People cheer when they're the songs come on for the games that they love. And at least in America, my experience was a lot of people were playing games in the audience during the concert, which seemed really strange to me, but the people on stage didn't seem to mind. So I was like, okay, yeah, I guess that's fine.
Sure.
Oh man. Jonny, do you remember there was like that Final Fantasy concert in LA, like one of those early E3 years?
Yeah, I didn't go to it. I knew a lot of people who did.
I went to it, and there were so many people on their DSs doing the DS chat. What was it called?
Yeah.
Picto Chat.
Yeah, Picto Chat. Picto Chat is sick.
Yeah, it's like one of the great, amazing features that Nintendo made that I'll probably never bring back. But yeah, Picto Chat's like some of the most fun I've ever had playing video games. And some of the most fun
I've like heard myself laughing at like shit that goes down on Picto Chat.
Yeah, the best thing about Picto Chat was that you could copy what someone else had drawn and then modify it and add to it and then send it back to them. So that turns into trolling instantly. And it's golden, just golden. And, and also there was like a really high limit on how many people, how many different DSs could be involved in one of those threads or groups at the same time. So if you ever got in a situation where there were 10 or 12 or 15 people all together and they all had a DS, it was chaos. I mean, we had hours, and it was like my favorite DS game for years. And I didn't, not something I could play on a regular basis, but if you're in the right circumstances with the right people, it's hard to have more fun than that. And yeah, I really wish Nintendo would bring that back. Just amazing stuff.
Wow. Like, dude, I mean, I was at university at the time, but I went to community college. So like, I didn't live on campus. And then like, even when I would go, I think the most I ever had was like maybe 4 people, including myself, which, you know, that's okay. But man, it would have been crazy
that way. Yeah. But like with a really large group of people,
you don't know what's going to happen. Yeah.
That was amazing. It was amazing. Yeah. It was a chat room, except everyone's drawing. And I never, you know, the closest thing I ever saw was the Plaza thing in Wii U. What's that called? The
Wada Wada Plaza.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
that
then,
was
like,
cool. You know, you're wandering around, people are drawing things. And Splatoon has the same kind of thing, right? You can see everybody's drawing, so you get a sense of it. But to see that happening live and where you're like can respond to each other almost instantly, you know, just like, you know, the thing we had, someone draws Kirby, and then the next person says, "Oh yeah, I take your Kirby," and then I draw a giant penis on it.
Yeah, exactly.
You just goes more and more insane from there, of course.
Yeah. Okay, Lemonade says I remember Jonny talking about doing PictoChat in the car on the way to E3. I hope to God you weren't driving.
I was there. That was so good.
I was riding in the back of, I think maybe Bloodworth's van or something like that, and yeah, we were packed tightly enough in LA traffic that we were able to communicate with the DSs.
Vehicle to vehicle. All right. Yeah, we had like 10 people in 2 cars that were kind of getting in and out of range. And I distinctly remember drawing a picture of our car rear-ending their car, and I waited until we were in range, and I just slapped that shit straight up.
Oh man.
These are precious memories. Okay.
Yeah. Oh boy. Nice. 2 last little things in the news. These are very Danny centric things, and I'll just kind of blow through these here really quick. But yeah, a little bit of baseball. I wouldn't be the Famicast without some kind of talk on Japanese baseball. Yeah, the Power Pros baseball series and the oh my God. Konami's sister series, Pro Baseball Spirits, are actually celebrating their 30th and 20th anniversaries respectively this year. And they have announced that none other than Shohei Ohtani is going to be their video game baseball ambassador, whatever that means. So yeah, they're going to have him doing promotions as of right now for a lot of their mobile offerings here in Japan. It's kind of, we don't know what that means. I mean, it's kind of weird that last year Konami did have that really, you know, a deep value baseball game that came out with like the weird license that nobody knew about. It's basically a licensed, unlicensed game for like $1. And it's fun. It's fine. Power Pros is a good baseball game, simulation baseball. It looks cute. But anyways, yeah, Otani's the man here. But
kind of a big deal.
Yeah. So we'll see what that means. Maybe more English localized Konami baseball, which I think would be a good thing. We'll see how that goes. But like, speaking of Power Pros, there's a really weird collaboration that is actually going on as well with Smash Brothers Ultimate. They just announced today that on the Spirit board, not only are there going to be like Power Pro related things like little baseball guys or something like that. Zagreus from Hades is going to be a part of the Spirit board, as are characters from 13 Sentinels, which is just out of nowhere. They just kind of like just said that today, and I was like, okay, that's really weird, but really awesome that that type of stuff is being included in Smash. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I just wanted to at least make sure that we talked at least a little bit about that stuff. Yeah, but Ty, do you have some trash for us today?
I do. Oh, and I have one more quick piece of news real quick if you get yelled and see. Wii U and 3DS Online Play support will end on April 9th.
Yeah.
Rest in peace.
Yeah. I saw something weird too, at least on the NCL's page, like Steel Divers Sub Wars. They were like, yeah, we were trying to like fix that game back in September. It's been in maintenance since, and they're like, yeah, we're just giving up, that this is unsalvageable for whatever online features for that game they had. And then some other Japan only game called like Real Dashitsu something for 3DS. That's another thing. They're like, yeah, this thing is just gonna. Yeah, I wrote up an article on the Famicast about that too. If you want to find out about this kind of oddball Japanese stuff about that, so you can check it out.
Ripperoonie. So yeah, if you want to run a private server for some weird games, start analyzing packets now.
Exactly.
What Wii U or 3DS game would we lament the most? I guess like the original Mario Maker is probably the Wii U game I played the most online, but that's been sort of superseded by Mario Maker 2 on Switch. I mean, in a lot of ways, I do kind of prefer the Wii U game for like interface reasons, but I think some of the online like level hosting and level sharing services maybe like were turned off already, weren't they? I
that
think,
sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think so.
Don't quote me on that, but yeah, I think so. So beyond that, like the first Splatoon, I guess probably many people aren't playing that anymore since there are already 2 sequels on Switch.
You'd be surprised.
There are some weird Splatoon 1 purists.
Yeah,
for
like
sure.
I guess
there'd be hardcore fans of several games, I'm sure, that'll be really upset about this, but like I can't imagine anything on Wii U is really still getting much play. In 3DS, there might be some exceptions to that, but I haven't touched my 3DS much in a long time, so I don't really know what that would be.
You might be surprised at what like weird online console games people still play. Like people play PSO on GameCube. Like now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But you don't need I guess there's really no like hosted service for that, so maybe that's not something
not
that
officially
could be turned off in the same way.
Yeah.
However, all right, now I think it's time for Garbage Day.
Okay.
All right, Jonny, you're in for a tweet. I remember we were talking earlier. You said you listened to the show, but maybe you didn't see it.
Right. That's true.
So, like, as you can see, I live in a hell world of anime goods, and we're about to get in. So first, I want to show what I got. What I got over the weekend, real quick. Like Jonny, you were here when I got the Psyduck.
Mm-hmm.
It was amazing. It was 2 shots. Like, I saw the machine and I knew that, like, okay, I can get this real quick.
You were right.
I was right. It was great. And
one of these 2.
Okay.
Yes. And I got this guy. I got this at the same arcade where we played all the shmup games.
And could you explain this maybe for like the audio listeners? What are you holding right now, dude?
I'm holding the funny, cute little mascot critter from Chainsaw Man.
Okay. Is this actually in the show, or is it just a thing?
I think it is. I haven't actually watched the show. Maybe I should get on it. But yeah, I've seen like every variation of this thing in the UFO catchers. Like it's kind of like when you make an anime, you have to have a cute, marketable mascot, and that would be this guy right here.
Right, a little orange
and
dog.
Also disturbing.
Yeah,
yeah, it is kind of surreal. Like, okay, like he has a chainsaw. He has like the chainsaw handle.
Okay.
Right here, and he has like a handle on the bottom, and like you notice these things when you're trying to get it out of the machine with a big claw. So yes, I did snag this and this in my efforts to drag it out of the machine, and it worked out pretty well.
Huh.
I do feel like we should give a more complete description for audio listeners, because this looks, maybe it's something like you'd see in Palworld, I don't know, but it's like a Pokemon version of a little orange dog, really cute, but then it has a chainsaw blade sticking out of its forehead.
Right.
And it just doesn't seem like it would belong there at all. So it's a really cute chainsaw. It's like a creature that would be in Hellraiser, but they've made it into a little anime cutesy version.
Right. Yeah, and like if you've seen the show, it's like incredibly gory, and like having this like cute little ooh face critter in there is like it's like a perfect contrast, for when you need a lighthearted moment, I suppose.
Yeah, I
I'm just
guess.
guessing. I haven't seen the show, but I'm pretty sure that is the function of this thing. It's a highly marketable, cute thing.
Yeah, me and Johnny saw several of these at the game shop that we're at, the game center. Tons of like little ones and stuff like that too. So yeah, I'm glad that I didn't realize that you had got one of those. So okay, cool.
I've been after one for a long time, but I didn't want to spend too much money on it, and
Sure.
The opportunity presented itself, and I finally snagged one.
Sure.
All right, now let's get to the boxes.
Okay. And just in case you're tuning in for the first time or you don't know, so Ty plays online crane games and UFO catchers and gets tons of stuff. He doesn't have any money for food anymore. Please send help.
Yeah. Well, a lot of
Food
these
is
I get for
food.
free or almost free.
Yes.
Actually, one more thing I got offline. I got this while I
What do we
was
have
waiting
here?
for Johnny to come in. This is another one of those goddamn quintuplets.
Okay.
She has bunny ears. I now have 4 out of 5. I'm waiting for the 5th one to release.
Slightly not safe for work. A little lewd.
It's not that lewd.
I mean, there are worse things out there. That's for sure.
I mean, it'll get
Yes.
it'll get some eyebrows raised. Like, what the hell are you looking at online?
Yes.
All right, so let's see. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes today.
Okay.
From the various online UFO catcher services. I think most of these are from Capcom.
Sponsored by Capcom.
Yeah.
And when you finish, Ty, I have something too.
Oh, sick! You got some UFO catcher shit. I can't wait.
It's not. It's a capsule toy. It's not quite anime,
Okay.
but I think it's cool.
All right, close enough.
Thanks for trying, kid. I mean, yes.
No, it's great. It's like
kidding.
a UFO catcher that you win every time.
Good point.
All right, so let's see. I got a small box from Capcom. Let's see if this is what I think it is. It's not, but this is a hot new figure. Of course, there's been many variations of it over the decades. This is like a Race Queen Evangelion Ray figure.
Okay.
Yeah, it was pretty good. I was just opening a bunch of tabs on Capcom UFO, and I saw one guy like get this like on the cusp of getting it, and then he gave up, and then I got it in one try, like after him, because I queued up.
Shark.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like I
That's how
told
you
you,
do it.
like it's like I was telling Johnny like what I do.
Yeah.
And it's like I open a million tabs like I'm a professional online gambler, except it's online UFO catchers.
Ty, I think we call that terminally online.
Terminally online. Yep.
Your
That
words.
describes me.
Meaning
well.
it will kill you.
Yes. Terminally online. Yep. All right, let's see. Next box. This is from Sega UFO Catcher. Like, they have these cool boxes. Let's see what the hell they sent me. These are the guys that send me all the cool stickers.
Oh, right. Like that for like bonus stuff or whatever.
Yeah, they have like they don't really give free plays except for like these super hard machines where they'll like just add free stickers to whatever you actually get. Oh man, there's only one figure in this huge box. All right, it's fine. It's super horny. Don't show mom. Okay.
Okay.
We've got another Aquafloat girl.
Okay.
And
is that a series?
Yeah, it's kind of like a series of figures. Okay. Right? You've seen a bunch of these, and where it's like a girl in an inner tube, and this is what's her name from Overwatch 4? Albedo, that's her name.
Sure.
She's got the horns. I got a bunch of figures of her.
Okay. And she's like basically wearing a very small bikini, and she's in this tube.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I've still not tested if these things actually float. Do we have a TikTok channel? That would be a good video.
We do not. Maybe we should just claim that. Okay. Yeah, Lemonade 2. Does it actually float? Yeah, good question. Sorry. We don't have the technology.
Test it.
Yeah.
We'll test it. I mean, I'll set up a fry pan. If we get 1 million subs, I'll actually cook it. All right. Okay. This is the big box. This is the one I've been waiting for.
Okay.
I'm actually
Jonny,
not saving this for last. This is just the next one in the stack.
Jonny, there have been some wild things that he's gotten over the years. A big ear of corn, a wig.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Some wild things tonight
I got the corn right here.
That's
always making an appearance.
Yeah, it's huge. The wig. Why aren't you wearing the wig, Ty?
I could.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. Shelving units. I mean, like, dude, it's crazy.
Oh yeah. Like almost everything in this room is from UFO catchers. All right, I have like 5 fucking figures in here. Let's. I'll just grab a random one.
You're gonna need a bigger apartment.
Yes.
I am.
Oh,
right.
it's Anya.
I got the magnifying glass one. We had a little discussion about this in the chat, and I'm gonna open this up real soon to see if the magnifying glass is functional.
All right, you were talking about that.
It was a point of discussion. It doesn't look like it on the box, but like the image they had on one of the sites made it look like it was.
Yeah.
So we're gonna find out if that's photoshopped or not.
Yeah. Again, this is Spy versus Spy. Spy versus Spy. What's it called?
Spy versus Spy. That's what it's called now. Yes.
Spy Family. God. Anya, the little cute girl in with pink hair. She's dressed like Sherlock Holmes with the magnifying glass.
Yeah. Right. It's a cute figure. All right. I actually have another Spy figure here.
Okay. Spy versus Spy.
This one is not one of the family. This is Fiona Frost.
Okay.
The hot chick who wants to be the homewrecker, and I also want her to step on me really badly.
Ooh. And she has a tennis racket.
She does.
Yeah.
For paddling.
That's what those are for, right? Okay.
Right. There's a whole tennis episode. I mean, have you seen the show, Jonny?
No, definitely not.
It's actually really good and wholesome, and you should definitely watch it.
I've never seen it. I think my wife might have watched some of it, and she seemed to have enjoyed it. I don't know.
It's fun. It's a show that I think has a really universal appeal. Now we have another figure. We got another meme figure here. This is oh god, what's her name? I drank too much. Bochi the Rock. You may have seen a lot of memes of this, especially on your Giphy keyboard.
Okay, and this is what? So this is like she's got pink hair. Are those ears? I can't. Yeah, she's wearing exactly. This is wholesome. It's not like lewd.
Yeah,
anything like that. So.
This show kind of took off, especially online. Like, she's like a girl who plays bass guitar or something. That's her whole thing. She has a bunch of gal pals. It's a gal pal anime, and but it has like these amazing surreal animated sequences that make perfect internet memes.
Okay.
I will share some in the Discord very soon.
Okay.
Actually, I think we did before.
We can do it again.
Another round. Yeah. All right. Next up. All right. This might be a little oddball. This might be the first figure I have from this series. We got
again, like we have links to all this stuff. Some of this stuff you guys can try even if you're outside of Japan. Maybe you might not be able to get the stuff sent to you, but you can try it if you like UFO.
Yeah, there are free play machines on a lot of the sites just to practice.
Right.
But like if you play it on like let's see, who ships to the US? I think Toyoba does. I think Tokyo Catch does. That might be it.
Okay. What is this?
Maybe Claude JP does. This is a Mega Man figure from the anime is Konosuba, which is short for Konosubarashi Sekai ni something. I guess she's a wizard.
Okay, so she's wearing like a witch hat. It's like she looks like a wizard, or a witch, or whatever.
kind of a well-known anime. It's actually from that studio that had that arson incident. Do you remember that?
Yeah, the company that did like Rurouni Kenshin and like all that stuff. Maybe that's something. Yeah.
Yeah, and like a bunch of dudes died, and it was really sad.
Pretty messed up.
Oh no.
Yeah. 2018 or something. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm showing my support by winning this figure.
Perfect.
I don't know if they ever see any of that. Man, actually getting paid for doing animation sucks in Japan right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of
it's like one of the most insanely predatory businesses right now. All right. In other news, I got this giant ass figure of another girl with bunny ears.
Okay.
All right, Johnny. What you have to understand here is I have an insane collection of like bunny girl figures, and it was like a huge meme last year because it was Chinese Zodiac Year of the Rabbit. So like every fucking anime character got like a bunny ears outfit. Yeah.
Okay.
This is
she
like
like someone from a maid cafe.
Exactly. Like, okay, yeah, it's like ReZero. Like, the characters are basically maids.
Yeah.
Basically, but
comment here too about the animation studio. Hiroko's still hanging around. Hey, Hiroko. She said, Kyoto Animation Studio might have been the name of the studio
that sounds right. I think that's it. Real tragic incident. Look it up. Yeah. Show your support. Buy some DVDs.
Yeah. Lemonade's also excited about the bunny girl, and the previous figure he thought you were talking about that girl was from Mega Man or something. So it's like it would have been my guess too. I don't know anything about this stuff, man. So
Megumin.
There, perfect. Same thing.
Yeah, Mega Man. That's pretty good.
If it was Mega Man in Japan, it would be Rockman.
Exactly.
Right.
So
let me show you my Rockmans.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. This box is also from Capcom. Okay, you guys, if you were on the Discord, you might remember that there was like a little incident where like I won a prize, and then Capcom sent me a message, and they said, "Oh, we fucked up, and this thing is actually out of stock. So we're gonna let you just pick one of any prize you want." And
okay.
I'm thinking that might be what's in here. Yes.
Okay.
So I had narrowed it down to a list of 5, and I ended up winning some of them like on my own. Actually, almost all of them. So, so this is the one I got. I didn't think I would be able to get it anywhere else. It's a Hatsune Miku in this white outfit.
Ooh,
okay.
Weird.
Right? Pretty fancy. Johnny says, right? I thought she was dressed like a moth or something.
Like made into a really huge bow that's tied behind her back, sort of.
Yeah, you could. Okay. There's actually a back view right here.
Bow. There's like a white bow that's tying her hair together. She has really long hair. Okay.
Into a bow.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of an elaborate figure, and I think it was out of stock on most sites, and on the Capcom machine, it was in like some machine that you would basically have to play a bunch of times to try to get it. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to get this anywhere else, so I'm going to go for this one for my freebie, and they delivered because they kick ass.
Very strategic.
Yeah. It's funny, like the out of stock item was just like one of those little like keychain mascot plush kind of things.
Oh, so you upgraded big time.
I big time upgraded. It was actually really nice of them. So shout outs to Capcom UFO Catcher support for that one. All right, I got one more.
Okay.
All right, this is from Sega again. So yeah, nothing from Toriba this month or any of the other sites. I guess it was all Capcom and Sega. All right, Johnny, for the record, I play on 9 different sites.
Yeah.
Looks like you won most of them.
Yep. Beat the end boss.
Yeah.
I think right now Capcom is my favorite. They're definitely the most generous in terms of like free tickets and easy wins. All right, what the hell? Oh shit. Yes. All right. I got some real cool shit in this one. First of all, I got a Nier Automata towel.
Oh, that's a towel. Okay, I thought it was a book.
It looks fancy, right? It's not that fancy, but it's a towel.
Okay, so that's the main. Yeah, that's the main character from the game.
Yeah, you see, there's like two different towels, and I obviously picked the one with the girl on it. Right.
They both look like girls to me, but what do I know?
Right. Excuse me, the politically correct term is femboy.
Okay, excuse me. They both look like femboys. Is that what you want me to say?
No. She got boobs.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, it says 60 by 120 centimeters. Okay. Yep.
It's like
time to throw it. Yeah. So time to throw this on the pile of anime towels that I have in my closet. There we go. It's nice. Maybe I'll hang it up in the back.
Yeah.
Right.
Lemonade. Hey man, he's surprised. He's like, man, I was not expecting a towel. So okay.
Right. It's perfect for a trip to the beach in fucking January.
Yes.
Congratulations, Ty.
There it is.
Right. All right. Okay. Now I've been kind of after one of these for a while. All right. This is a posable figure.
What is it? Moving good.
So there's like a whole series of these, and this is one of the quintuplets. And like I wasn't trying to get the whole set or anything like that, but I did want one just to like have a posable figure. Okay, this actually comes with like, I don't know if you can see on the video, there's like different faces, different hands. There's like a little pose stand and a bar.
Yeah.
But like it has all these articulated joints. So I can like set up all sorts of funny scenes, I guess. With it.
Yeah. I have to say the surplus body parts are a little disturbing.
Yeah,
right?
it's. I will say, Johnny, like I sometimes I get Star Wars figures, and it's like a lot of stuff is kind of like this these days, where they have like if they have different facial expressions or something like that, hands to like carry different weapons or something like that. That's why it is what it is. It is weird to see it, but yeah, that's the reason.
In my day, if you wanted to change the expression on the toy's face, you just rotated his face to one of the 3 different settings. That was a He-Man character.
Right, that guy.
I remember that. That's amazing.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah.
All right, and after a long time, I have another Relax Time figure.
Okay, I could have swore that one of those. I could have swore that one of those came in the last episode, but okay.
Really?
I don't know, man. Like it all kind of blurs together sometimes.
There have been a lot of them, and this is Naruto character Tsunade, who is kind of well known for having giant boobs. I kind of feel like they undersold it on this figure, or maybe it's just the angle, like maybe like this one right here.
I don't think they undersold it.
No, I don't think so either.
All right.
Maybe your expectations are just getting way
right. And sometimes on the figure, they kind of ramp it up a little bit.
Sure. Hey, yo, sure. Lemonade's a huge fan of Relax Time too. He's like, yo, Relax Time's great.
Yeah, like I think I have all the HoloLive Relax Time figures, which is really fun.
I think she'll definitely help you achieve Relax Time.
Yes.
Right. I'm looking for the next year's Agitation Time figures. All right, so
is it my turn, or you have more?
That was the last one. So Johnny, I want to see what kind of anime trash you picked up.
Okay, it's just not anime at all, and I wouldn't say not even trash, but it is like a cool toy I got in Japan. So today with JC, when we met up, we actually went to one of the local Tokyo offices for JAXA, the Japan Aerospace company. So it's the Japanese NASA, basically, and they've been around a long time. They're like one of the partners on the International Space Station, and just earlier this week they landed a spacecraft on the moon. They soft landed. They've crash landed one on purpose before for like scientific research, but they soft landed Apollo style a spacecraft on the moon, and it's still there, it's still functioning, and they're only the 5th country to ever do this, and it's a big deal. And so it's like I've been really excited about JAXA lately, and was really excited to get to go to one of their offices. And I went in there, and of course they have capsule toy machines in the JAXA office with exclusive JAXA toys. And so I bought a bunch of them to take home to friends back in the States. And this is one of my favorite ones. It is the EMU, the Extravehicular Mobility Unit, which I pre-assembled here. It came in a couple of pieces, but I'm going to open this up just so you can see. It's the spacesuit. This is the spacesuit that astronauts use on the ISS to go outside the station and perform different jobs, repair the solar panels and install scientific instruments and things like that. It comes in 2 pieces. So it goes together like that. But yeah, this is a capsule toy after my own heart. And there's a couple of others. I got a rocket, and this one is a space. I think this is actually the HTV. So this is it's hard to see without taking it out of the package. But this is the cargo vessel that launches on the Japanese rocket to take cargo and food and scientific instruments and things up to the ISS. So yeah, I just thought this was pretty amazing that they have these even in the Japan Aerospace agency. They have capsule toys, and I managed to get a couple, and I won these by successfully inserting my 100 yen coins and turning the crank all the way around 360 degrees, and they awarded me with these fabulous prizes to take.
100% win rate, can't beat that.
That's right. You know what, fair and square.
Yeah.
Did you get the whole set?
I did not. No, I didn't. Partly, I just didn't want to spend the time to stand there and make JC watch me put thousands of yen into these machines until I finally got the lucky one.
Whatever. He lives here. He has all the time in the world.
Yeah, exactly.
I got the spacesuit, which is the important one.
Nice.
So I was quite pleased to walk away with that.
Cool. I don't have any.
It's a bit of a letdown after relax time and all the cool anime girls.
No, that's sick. I can sense the genuine enthusiasm.
Yeah,
I was excited for that.
That kicks ass. Yeah, like I wouldn't have thought they would have capsule toys there, but that's sweet. That's like the perfect souvenir, or as we say here, omiyage. Yeah.
Well, you know what? It's times like this when I kind of just want to reach for something that's just for the everyman. And that's when I go to Boss Coffee. And no, I'll stop with that.
Do you have a Zelda can?
Yeah, Johnny, I have like a lot of them, but Boss Coffee did do this on the Fammies, our last show of the year. I put together some fake ads, and that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Does it taste like Zelda?
It tastes just like Zelda. It tastes just like him.
They did it. They captured it.
They did it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for some anime trash. And since we are running a little bit long today, I think we're just going to go ahead and close out the show here before we get to closing on everything. I did want to just mention something here briefly. I mentioned in the last episode, Jefferson Kuba, who had emailed us over the years several times. He moved here to Japan. He lives here and stuff like that. He lives down in Ishikawa Prefecture, the place that got damaged by like the earthquake. He's fine. Some of his stuff's a little bit messed up, but I mean, the important thing, like him and his family are fine. And actually, he was just up in the region, like up around Tokyo and stuff like that, just last week, and I got a chance to meet up with him. He came out here to Saitama, where I live. We had some drinks. it was awesome. I was really glad to be able to meet him in person and just hang out and stuff like that. So Jefferson, if you're listening, thanks, man. If you're not listening, well, still thanks. So, but yeah, to close out the show, we're going to go ahead and give you guys our social media handles if you want to follow us there. If you want to follow me, you can follow me at DannyBiv. I'm on Twitter and Blue Sky, and that's DANNYBIV, no Z's, 1A. Ty.
I'm super cat drugs on anything. I haven't really committed to posting anywhere since Twitter is rapidly exploding.
Right.
But I do have Blue Sky. I am on Mastodon, and but Discord is where the fun really is at.
Sure.
Yeah. So check out our Discord. Maybe there's a link below. I don't know.
There's a link somewhere. There's on the website somewhere. Anyway,
Right.
Jonny, where can people find you on social media, if you don't mind?
Yeah, no, I'm Jonny Metts on the same platforms. I don't really post much on Twitter anymore, but I kind of keep an eye on it. But mainly posting on Blue Sky too. So I'm JONNYMETTS. No Z's, none of that. No
You sure?
H, no Z.
All right.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay, just thought I'd check just in case.
Let me make sure I have you on there. Okay, I do.
Good.
Cool. All right. Well, Jonny, obviously, dude, thank you so much for coming on, man. I mean, actually, how's the jet lag been treating you today? Like, are you feeling like really tired and stuff, or?
I'm fine. I think the tiredness I feel today is because I'm just going too hard every single day. I don't want to hang out in my hotel room all day and like waste this golden opportunity, So
Sure.
yeah, I'm just out in the city trying to do as much as I can and meeting with as many friends as I can, which has been really awesome every day
Hell
here
yeah.
in Japan. So yeah, thank you guys for having me. It's an honor. I got to all of you guys and JC2, I got to invite on Radio Free Nintendo back when I was hosting that show. So it's really cool that I get to return the favor here and show up on the Famicast years later.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh.
Go big or go home.
Yes, exactly.
EA Sports, it's in the game.
In the game. All right. Well, thank you everybody out. Thank you guys out there for listening. Thank you guys for participating in the chat. Lemonade, Hiroko, Balls, a couple of other people in there too that I might have forgot to mention. James was in there as well. Yeah, that JC, Christopher Volak, he popped in too. Thanks for popping in, guys. And if you're listening later, thank you guys so much. Like I said, too, lots of images and stuff like that for the enhanced version that you guys can check out, links and all that stuff. Again, shout out to Hashi, 84, the awesome bar in Shibuya. We have links to that to get you more details about that stuff. Support those guys. This is a type of place that needs to stay in business. It's awesome. You need to go.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
But all right. We'll close it out for Real Hill. Thank you guys so much for listening. Of course, Jonny and Ty, thank you guys so much. And we will catch you next time.
Arigatou gozaimasu.
Nice. He's learning.